Hi, I'm back. I'll be reading the book Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Starfleet A. I'll be reading the book Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, number one, Crisis on Vulcan by Brad and Barbara Strickland. Okay, here I go. Starfleet Timeline 1969 Neil Armstrong walks on Earth's moon. 2156 Romulan Wars begin between Earth forces and the Romulan Star Empire. 2160 Romulan Peace Treaty signed establishing the neutral zone. 2161 United Federation of a planet's formed, Starfleet established with charter to boldly go where no man has gone before. 2218 First contact with the Klingon Empire. 2245 Starship USS Enterprise NCC 1701 launched on its first 5-year mission under the command of Captain Robert April and First, First Officer Christopher Pike. 2249 Spock enters Starfleet Academy as the first Vulcan student. Leonard McCoy enters Starfleet Medical School. 2250 James T. Kirk enters Starfleet Academy. 2251 Christopher Pike assumes command of the Enterprise for its second 5-year mission. 5-year mission. 2251 Spock, still a Starfleet cadet, begins serving under Captain Pike on the Enterprise. 2253 Spock graduates from Starfleet Academy. Leonard McCoy graduates from Starfleet Medical School. 2254 James D. Kirk graduates from Starfleet Academy as a Lieutenant. Kirk is assigned duty aboard the USS Farragut. 2261 USS Enterprise under the command of Captain Christopher Pike completes its third 5-year mission. 2263 James D. Cook is promoted to captain of the Enterprise and meets Christopher Pike, who is promoted to fleet captain. 2264 Captain James D. Cook in command of the USS Enterprise embarks on a historic 5-year mission of exploration. 2266 Dr. Leonard McCoy replaces Dr. Mark Piper as Chief Medical Officer aboard the Enterprise. 2269 Cook's original 5-year mission ends and Starship Enterprise returns to space dock. Cook is promoted to Admiral. To Admiral. To Admiral. 2271 USS Enterprise embarks on Cook's second 5-year mission, Star Trek, the motion picture. 2277 James T. Cook accepts a teaching position at Starfleet Academy. Spock assumes command of the Starship Enterprise, 2285. In orbit around the Genesis planet, Kirk, Kirk orders the destruction of the Starship Enterprise to prevent the ship from falling into Klingon hands. Star Trek number 3, The Search for Spock, 2286. Kirk is demoted to captain and, 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 and assigned command of the Starship Enterprise NCC-1701-A. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, 2287. The Enterprise is commandeered by SYB-OK, Spock's half brother, and taken to the center of the galaxy. Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. The Final Frontier. 2292. Alliance between the Klingon Empire and the Romulan Star Empire collapses. 2293. The Klingon Empire launches a major peace initiative. The crews of the USS Enterprise and the USS EXCELS captain by HIKARU Sulu thwart a conspiracy to sabotage the KHITOMER peace conference. Afterward, the Enterprise-A is decommissioned and Kirk retires from Starfleet. USS Enterprise NCC-1701-B, under the command of Captain John HARRIMAN, is severely damaged on a maiden voyage. Honored guest Captain James D. Cook is listed as missing, presumed killed in action. 2344. USS Enterprise NCC-1701-C, under the command of Captain RACHEL GARRETT, is destroyed while defending the Klingon outposts on NARENDRA the 3 from Romulan attack. 2346. Romulan massacre of a Klingon outpost on KHITOMER. 2364. Captain Jean-Luc Picard assumes command of the USS Enterprise NCC-1701-D. 2367. Borg attack at Worf. 359. USS SARATOGA destroyed. First Officer Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Sisko and his son Jack are among the survivors. Enterprise defeats the Borg vessel in orbit around Earth. 2369. Commander Benjamin Sisko assumes command of Deep Space Nine in orbit over BAJOR. 2371 USS Enterprise NCC-1701-D destroyed on VERIDIAN 3. Former Enterprise Captain James D. Cook emerges from a temporal NEXUS but dies, helping Picard save the VERIDIAN system. USS Voyager under the command of Captain KATHRYN Janeway is accidentally transported to the Delta Quadrant. The crew begins a 70-year journey back to Federation space. 2372. The Klingons' Empire's attempted invasion of CARDA SSIA PRIME results in the dissolution of the KHITOMER peace treaty between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. Source: Star Trek Chronology / MICHAEL and DENISE. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Two suns hung low in a turquoise sky. The higher one was a bloated crimson, a squash red oval that gave little warmth. The lower sun was merely a brilliant point of blue-white light across a vast, nearly flat plain of harshly glittering crystalline rock, almost exactly the corroded copper green color of Spock's blood. The horizon became jagged, a range of cobalt blue volcanic cones thrust their sharp peaks upward, and each mountain cast two sharp-edged shadows on the plain. One shadow, a deep violet, the other pale one, paler one, gray green, almost directly overhead, and an irregular, buttery yellow crescent moon rode waves of crimson orange and purple aurora, the shimmering colors as restless as an ocean off in the east. A smaller, rounded gray moon had just risen above the roof of the BELTAAN conference center where 50 diplomats worked to end a war that had gone on for generations. In the darker sky above the sleek building, a few random stars already glittered, their light dimmed in the aurora display. High meters, their trails brilliant white scratched across the western sky. It is all very, began CHATUANMARLORVAL. The Marthin, the MARATHAN youth who had only a few weeks before set foot on his ancestral planet for the first time in his life. The short, stumpy boy hesitated, searching for for the right word. It is very, very fascinating, said Spock. Said Spock. CHA turned his head, his mane, and iridescent hair, glimmering in the double light of the setting binary suns. No, I was trying to say beautiful, but in a more intense way. It is more beautiful than anything I have ever seen. The MARATHAM boy stole a quick glance back at the BELTAAN complex, lowered his voice, and murmured, "It is a it is a vision given us by the ancient maker." Spark raised an eyebrow. The ancient maker? With an embarrassed shrug, CHA looked away. "I am almost an adult. Such things are forbidden. I cannot speak of them. Speak of them. Ah, a religious taboo," Spock said. I will not question you. CHA relaxed. Thank you. But thank you. But surely even one who is without the knowledge of the ancient maker can see the glory, the beauty of all this. Of all this. Spock tilted his head as he considered. The air of MARATH was thin, and at this latitude bitterly cold in his nostrils. He took a deep breath. The arrangement of the landscape and the placement of astronomical bodies is essentially attractive, he admitted, though of though of course it is temporary. The most interesting point for me is the double sun. MARATH is one of the few inhabited planets that orbits a double star. A double star. A double star. Most binary system planets orbit one of the two suns, but not both. CJ shook his head. "You Vulcans have no soul," he complained. "You are all logic and mathematics and science. You don't appreciate the poetry of such a vision." Such a vision. He nodded toward the west. "The largest sun, the reddish one, is HAMARKA, the creator, the one my people call the ancient maker, the small, brilliant point of blue white light, the one that dances around HAMARKA is VOLASH, the jester." Spock nodded. He noted again that he was cold. MARATH was not a particularly cold planet. It was even warmer than Vulcan in the lower latitudes, but BELTAAN, an ancient religious and cultural center, was close to MARAT's Pacific North Pole. After 18 years of learning Vulcan discipline, though, Spock was used to ignoring mere physical discomfort. "It sounds as if the two suns are part of a myth," he suggested. "Yes," responded CJ. He shifted his feet, making the soil columns of frost crunch and crackle. I can tell you that I am not yet of age, and the stories are not part of the true lore. In the beginning, they were alone. Then VOLASH challenged HAMARKA forth to bring forth some new thing in the universe. It was to be a thing to make them both laugh. If HAMARKA could do that, then with a then with a thought HAMARK created MARATH the world and all the life upon her just to amuse the two friends. Is that not a pretty story? A pretty story? It is a standard creation myth, Spock pointed out, sensing that his observation might create some unfavorable emotion in the other boy. He added, although the story is most unusual in its assumption the that the universe was created as a we have no Vulcan term for the concept, but an off word is joke. CHA walked a few meters away, leaving a trail of dark footprints against the frost, and sat on a rounded boulder. He huddled into his heavy jacket for even to someone whose ancestors came from Marath. The afternoon was growing uncomfortably chilly. Already, the distant blue volcanoes had begun to show long, jagged streaks of white frost. It is a bitter joke, he said softly, a joke that drove my people away from our home world in the time of my great grandfathers uh, of my great grandfathers fathers great grandfathers great grandfathers. MARATHANS had a curious way of measuring historical periods. Spock looked at his friend. They had only met a few weeks ago, but they had learned they could talk easily to one another. CJ Putvis's father, KAROS, MARSANTOR, was a diplomatic assistant in the SHAKIR mission to the home world. Since Spock's father, SAREK, was an accomplished diplomat himself, the two young men had much in common. Spock had no doubt that SAREK would succeed in drawing the three factions together, for his father had infinite patience and a gift for directing navigations in the most logical channels. Still, the problem was complex and delicate. MARATH, the planet on which Spock and CHA stood, was the second world from the binary star in a seven planet system. For many centuries, different nations had existed on MARATH had existed on MARATH, almost always at war. The constant warfare many causes, struggles for territory, struggles for power, even conflicts over points of religion. More, more than 500 years earlier, scientists on MARATH working to create new and terrible weapons had developed space flight. The weapon became a means of escape when a fierce global war broke out. Outcasts from the home world of MARATH settled first, settled first, 2 moons of GANDAR, the the third planet in the system. GANDAR was a swollen gas giant with 11 major moons, two of them large enough to support life. Another group of refugees settled on distant SHAKIR, the fourth world in the system, a planet almost inhospitable, almost inhospitably cold, except for its equatorial region. SHAKIR was CHA Podcasts' home. And now, the scientists on SHAKIR had developed a primitive mode of warp drive they had they had encountered hostile Klingons uncomfortably close to them in space. Suddenly, all the enemy factions in the system had a new foe to dread. The MARATHAN system had applied to become part of the United Federation of Planets. The Federation was willing, but only if the MARATHANS could. The Federation was willing, but only if the MARATHANS could finally resolve their old hostilities. SAREK had launched the historic peace effort that now, after 3 years of diplomatic struggle, was finally on the verge of producing a treaty, and everyone hoped a lasting peace. A lasting peace. CHA turned to say something to Spock, blinked, and gestured toward the conference center. Look! Look! Spock glanced over his left shoulder and noted that all the lights were on. Every light inside and outside the building shone with a clear white glare. They have achieved accord, he murmured. The agreement has been reached. CJ came to stand beside Spock. Yes, he said, his voice surprisingly tense. Raising an eyebrow, Spock studied CJ Podcasts' profile. The MARATHAN teens' features showed no pleasure. They were set in a scowl of discontent, anger. Emotions were so hard to read, thought Spock, especially the emotions of aliens. I wish you satisfaction in the agreement, Spock said. CJ did not look at him. We better go in, he said. The warmth of the conference center was welcome after the chilly afternoon. An aide offered both Spock and CJ a tall tubular glass with a few centimeters of TSHAK, a hot MARATHAN drink. They accepted and quickly gulped the fiery orange liquid, as was polite. It tasted both sweet and bitter, and the spices in it were surprisingly hot. As the steamy drink warmed him from inside. Spark looked around. Dozens of people stood in the ground hall, clustered in groups of 6 or 7. At last Spark saw his father, Sarek, at the center of one of these groups. The tall, dignified Vulcan towered above the stocky MARATHANS around him. As the two boys maneuvered toward him, Spock noticed that one of the MARATHANS standing near Sarek was CHA Podfest's father, KAROS MARSANTOR. Like his son, KROS looked tense and unhappy. His mane of hair, even more impressive than his son's, had lost some of its luster, and the rainbow colors were muted. But KAROS was a healthy, vigorous man. As he spoke to Sarek, he gave the impression of great energy under weak control. Spock wondered what emotion KROS felt. Was the word angry, or was it a different feeling? Spock could only guess. Could only guess. Sarek nodded a greeting as Spock and CJ drew near. "Welcome, my son. Good afternoon, young MAR." CJ murmured some pleasantry, and then spoke to his own father. "Well, the majority have approved a treaty," KROS said shortly, his voice hoarse, rasping. "We will not speak of it now, but father, we will talk of it later," snapped KAROS. The abruptness of KROS' Podfest's manner surprised Spock. Like his son, KAROS was an easygoing, humorous individual. True, Spock had come to realize that even a being who enjoyed laughter could be very serious indeed when dealing with matters of importance. And it was equally true that the navigations had lasted for a long time and had been most demanding, and yet and yet something more was wrong. Spock could sense it in the tension between father and son, in the hopeless but determined-minded glare CJ gave the older MARATHAN in the way. They both turned abruptly and walked away. Spock moved to his father's side. Have you reached a satisfactory accord? Sarek replied, "We have at least forged a treaty. It recognizes the unity of the MARATHAN peoples, but grants sovereignty to each group. No side is completely satisfied with it. Then it is not a good treaty." Sarek gave his son a considering look, the faintest hint of warmth in his eyes. On the contrary, Spock, the best treaty all, always leaves every party a little unsatisfied because all must surrender something of importance in order for the whole group to gain to gain. I will remember that. The groups had rearranged themselves with heated but quiet conversations going on all around the room. Outside, both suns had set, and the sky had grown quite dark. MERATH was near a cluster of, of bright stars, or rather was within a few dozen light years of them, and some were so brilliant that Spock could see them through the glass windows, even with the interior of the conference center radiant with light. In a far corner, CJ and his father had joined a group of navigators from SHAKIR, the cold outpost of the MARATHAN civilization. They kept looking SAREK protesters' way, and none of the looks were friendly. One of them, a grim-looking elderly MARATHAN, whose hair had faded to silvery blue, turned his craggy, wrinkled face toward the two Vulcans and them. Scoured at them. The hum and murmur of conversation were urgent and low. Father, Spock said, the SHAKIR delegation appears to have strong reservations about the treaty. Yes, responded SAREK with a sigh. The old man is HULMINAKLASVOR. VOR, a rebel leader in the space war fought between SHAKIR and MARATH 30 years ago. 30 years ago. He was opposed to any agreement, and in some ways, the other members of the SHAKIR delegation agreed with him. They wished to include some concessions that the MARATHAN delegation refused, chiefly having to do with rights of a passage to and from the home world. It was a serious block to navigation, and at last I was and at last I was able to overcome it only by specifying in the treaty that such questions will be resolved through more negotiations over the next 10 standard years. After a pause, SAREK added, I do not fully understand the heat with which the with which the with which the diplomats argue this problem. Strong emotions enter into it, and the MARATHANS are most reluctant to explain their reasons to an outsider. To an outsider, I have noticed that father, the the two Vulcans were walking toward a bank of Tur Turbolifts that would take them to their quarters. Still, a treaty of any sort will help the MARA teach ANS in the application to join the Federation, will it not? They stepped into the turbo. They stepped into the turbo lift, and SAREK said, "Habitation level, diplomatic guest, quarters one." To Spock, he said, "The treaty will do much more than that, my son. You must understand what has happened here. Thanks to diplomacy, the system has avoided bloodshed and war. That is an accomplishment of great merit in itself, and perhaps they have taken a first step, a small step toward becoming truly one people. That is an even greater accomplishment. Do you understand me?" The turbo lift sighed to a stop, and father and son got out. The corridor into which they stepped was softly lit, arched, and silent. They walked toward their rooms. As as Spock slowly answered, I believe, I do understand, Father. You have taught the MARA teach ANS the value of diplomacy, the logic of settling their disputes bloodlessly. You have you have given them a start on the path to full civilization. Not I, SAREK gently corrected his son. The Vulcan way of logic. I am only the instrument of logic on MARATH. Spock, I want you to consider how rare logic is in the universe. Our scientists believe there are hundreds of a thousand, perhaps millions of sentient races in the galaxy. What is the norm among them? War, hatred, bigotry, force? What is the greatest good we can do for them? To teach them there is a way out. The way our forebears discovered in the control of emotion and the use of logic. The door sensed their approach, identified them as the occupants of the rooms it guarded, and silently opened for them. They stepped inside, and the lights immediately Came on. Spock said slowly, "Yes, father, I understand." I understand. Good. SAREK sighed. "I know your guest, Spock. You wish to be a scientist, and you have won a great honor in being admitted to the Science Academy on Vulcan. However, remember that a good diplomat may also be a good scientist. The universe is full of warring people, and many of them live in in planets that our science has neither discovered nor described. After a moment of silence, Spock said, "Are we to return home now, Father?" The way Sarek looked at him, might have made a a human teen anxious, for it was a glance that clearly said Sarek had gaps. Spock's strong desire to change the subject, but Spock was only half human, and his Vulcan side enabled him to do away with anxiety. Well, almost. Well, almost. Sarek said, "Yes, now, we will prepare to return home. The treaty will not be official until transmission to the United Federation of Planets for archiving and verification. The little work that remains can be done by subspace communication. We must prepare to leave tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" Spock asked, not managing to hide the surprise in his voice so soon. "Yes, a Federation ship has entered orbit around MARATH, and it will transport the MARATHAN off-worlders to their own homes. It will also take us to Vulcan. So we need Nakar for a Vulcan ship." "I see. And what is the ship?" asked Spock. I did not make a point of asking its name. "A ship is a ship," replied Sarek. After a moment, he said, though now that I think of it, I did overhear some MARATHANS speaking of it. I believe the ship we are to take is called Enterprise. Okay, that's all for now. That's the end of chapter 1. I'll be reading chapter 2 next time. Okay, bye bye.